Hi, Mel. I'm Melanie. Oop. I need to cover this up. I'm sorry. I know it looks weird, but hi, Stepwind. How are you? I'm doing okay. I'm actually here. I'm at the hospital. My dad had a stroke a few days ago, and I apologize. I'm still wearing my work shirt, and it has my school logo on it, and I'm pretty sure I can't have that on. Um, Hi, Original Turtle. Thank you so much for coming to my live stream. I'm not even sure if the lighting is good. There's like one lamp here. There it is. That's a little better. All right. But yes, thank you. But his prognosis is really good. And right now they're kind of getting to the bottom of why he had a stroke in the first place. So more tests and more tests and more tests. Um, but I wanted to talk about the things that I learned in 2019. And I guess if I haven't learned anything in 2019, then I haven't been listening because 2019 has been coming for me. Yes, I'm positively sure things will work out for me and my family. Original Turtle, thank you so much. Hi, She's Gone Country Farms. Hi, how are you? Yeah, I was going to talk about, hey, what's up, Bear Fruit? Um, Hi, Backyard Gardener. I was going to talk about what I've learned in 2019. I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about in this live stream. I first of all want to just put it out there. Hi, Miss Craft. That my YouTube sister friend, Green Organic Love, is going to be on live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. So that means that whatever I do, it's like about 6:10, almost 6:15 Eastern. So I'm kind of, first of all, coming on to promote her live later. And I'm coming on to just tell you guys what I've learned in 2019. Um, do I have garden lessons? I guess I do. I have life lessons, I think, too. I have a lot of life lessons. So that's where I am now. I'm learning these life lessons. I'm trying to come to grips with what my family is going through because it feels like we're getting a lot of how would you say, a lot of um, things are happening, a lot of, like a lot of bad news. I don't know how else to say that. There's a lot of things happening in my family and it's been kind of frustrating. Hold on a second. Hey girl, I'm live. I'm sorry. Everything okay? Well, join us on the live. It's Four Horns Farm. Thanks. Bye. So, yeah, I wanted to just talk about what I've learned. I've learned, first of all, cherish your people. You do not have time to argue with folks. You do not have time, excuse me, to spend a moment disagreeing and not talking and battling it out with people. At the end of the day, the time we have left is just spend it loving each other. That's one of the huge lessons I've learned. I mean, I was telling my cousin that I have no regrets. My husband and I, we loved each other like crazy. We did not fight. I think in almost 15 years being married, we disagreed a couple of times and we never argued ever. Our kids did not live in a house where people argued with each other. I'm so glad we did not do that. So I have no regrets about the life we lived together. Our kids saw us kiss. Our kids saw us hug. Our kids saw us talk. Our kids saw us holding hands in the car. They think marriage is awesome. Okay, hey, I know that my husband's family felt good about the fact that we were married to each other. They knew he was happy. And I knew he was happy. I'm sorry, I'm not even reading all these things, but yes, spend happy time with happy people. I mean, here's the key. Even if those people aren't happy, you have to swallow your pride. Don't worry about being right, and just show them that you care. Let them know, hey, listen, I know we disagree, but I don't want to live like that. So you know what? Let's squash it and move on. I really appreciate when I'm working with someone, even at work. I'm a teacher, and a lot of adults working together, and our children are our main focus. But we don't always agree on how. So guess what? We just have to settle sometimes, hey, we're not going to do what I want to do. We're going to do what the other person wants to do. I'm sorry. I know it looks weird that I have this thing on my shirt, but our school is a logo school. We have to wear a logo shirt, and I'm pretty sure I don't have anything to cover up the logo. So I'm just going with a paper towel. So yes, that is the one thing that I've learned, that there's no reason to disagree. If you disagree with somebody, even if you feel like they're wrong and they need to come apologize to you, just like move on from the disagreement. And, life is too short for the nonsense. That's how I feel. That's my one lesson. Like if 2019 taught me something, it's that we do not have time to waste battling it out with people over some silly stuff. Because at the end of the day, do you even really remember why you're mad? Like, he left the cap off the toothpaste. He never did a courtesy flush. Seriously? Or he won't unpack his suitcase. I mean, or she never calls me. I always call her. So what? Anyway, I know I'm sneaking. I had not intended. Hi, Diva. I had not intended to go live, but a couple of things have happened where I needed to put on my big girl panties and just do something that I felt was difficult. And this is one of those things. And I needed to put it out there that life is too short to be battling it back and forth with people. It's just too short. And if you got somebody in your life and you love them, tell them you love them. That's all. Don't feel like, oh, I don't say that to people. I mean, if you don't mean it, don't say it. But I'm just saying, if you do feel that way, then definitely say it. Say, hey, I care about you. Oh, hey, thank you. Hi, Alicia's plants. Yes, life is too short. Okay. Oh, I'm actually at the hospital. So my dad had a stroke on Friday. And so he's actually doing really well. And he's talking more and more every day. And they're just trying to evaluate him to see what caused the stroke in the first place. So as we find out more things as a family, like we'll talk about it with the family. But my mom and dad are really not into social media. So that's the extent of how much I'm going to say. I haven't even said what hospital, right? Yeah, I came to visit him and no. So I left school, took a little bit to her grandma's house, and I'm up here. Thank you, Ms. Kraft. Thank you so much. We need the positive vibes, the prayers. Thank you so much. I know, Diva, you're poking fun. That's okay, because this is really beautiful hospital. It's very, very chic, and people come here from all over all over the world to come to this hospital. It's one of the best. So I trust that they'll take good care of my dad. What else has 2019 taught me? Because you know what? If you haven't learned the lesson to love the people that you have, then you're probably not really going to learn it from me, because, you know, who am I? Like, I'm trying to push to get like 600 subscribers, and I don't have a huge following, but I appreciate the people who are here, because I know that, you know, because you're here. But that's the whole point of my first thing that I learned, that, you know, appreciate the people who are in your life. They're there for a reason. And if you didn't want them there, then don't engage with them, you know, because you don't have time to waste. Okay, so I could put it back to the garden now. We could talk about something garden related. Something I learned from my garden: don't bite off more than you can chew in your garden. I feel like I did that this year. Of course, when I started the garden, we bought the materials for, I believe it was like about 12, your pigs, 12. We bought the materials for 12 garden beds, 4x8 garden beds. And it's so much. Like, I didn't realize how much it would be. Like, the tomatoes are, you have to go out and spray everything with neem, and you have to come back and spray everything with peroxide and water, or milk and water. I learned from Diva. Thank you so much. But there's just a lot. There's a lot to do. And I'm a busy person. I have a full-time job, and I have a family, and I have kids, and the pigs. Thank you, Diva. I have the pigs to take care of. So what business did I have building more garden beds? Yes, there's a lot to do. And I think I bit off more than I could chew. And I'm actually considering raw okra is actually really good. You don't want to eat them big. You eat them small. They're really small. You have a snack while you're in the garden. But those are the kind of things that I've been trying to do. Yes, you definitely should try it singly. They're really good. Also, sorry, I'm forgetting my words. I'm sorry. But it's Malabar spinach also has that mucilaginous texture in a leaf, and it tastes very refreshing, and it's not as slimy as okra. So I think you would like that. If you don't want to eat the raw okra, try Malabar spinach. Really good. Usually you can get a cutting of Malabar spinach, stick it in some soil, and it'll just root. But I've stuck some in water. I've stuck some cuttings in water just to see what would happen. And yeah, they came back. Actually, my Malabar spinach died. Hi, Nick's Picks. Hi. My Malabar spinach died over the winter here in Zone 9A, and they came back. Well, one of them came back the following year. So those are some of the plants that you actually can restart in spring. They'll come back on their own. Yeah, I have red Malabar spinach in my garden. So that's one of the things that I've learned. I think I bit off way too much. Like, there's a lot to do, and I don't have time. And so now that this has happened to my dad, like at first what happened to my husband, I felt definitely overwhelmed. But now this is happening to my dad, and I feel the very strong urge to be here for my mother. And she has a lot of friends and people around her that support her, but I'm here too. And I want to make sure that, she's well cared for, and that my dad is well cared for. And, like you have to remind her to eat. And they had to remind me to eat after Rick passed away. So those are the kind of things that I can definitely relate to. Your husband's not doing well, and you got to take care of everything. So that's one of the things that I've realized as a gardener. I have too big of a garden. It's too big. It's like Lead Farmer 73 said. It's not that I don't really need all that. I do need some of that, what I'm using now to feed my family. Um, but what I don't need right now is more stuff to do, because I really feel a strong urge to move back to the city and help my mom. And that's something that has, like, it's kind of dawning on me over the past couple of days. It takes me almost an hour to drive home, and less than that if I'm exceeding the speed limit. But I mean, you can only fly through the city streets and the highways so long before, you get a ticket, or it's stressful to be raising up your own blood pressure driving like that. So I don't want to do that. Yes, that's me, speeding through the city streets, everywhere I need to go is all the way across town. Everywhere. It's like driving, like, literally, Georgia is closer to my house than this hospital. Georgia. So for me, one of the lessons that I'm learning is just, you have to know when to hold them. And sorry, in the words of Kenny Rogers, know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Like, it might be time for me to close up my house for a little bit. And yeah, because Nick's Picks, I was about to start my fall garden, which was going to be a zero maintenance garden. I was going to plant some carrots, and I was going to plant garlic. Carrots and garlic are two things that if you plant them now, you don't have to look at them again until like April. You just don't look at them anymore. Like, should you go back and thin your carrots? You can, but just don't plant them close together. Won't have to thin them. So there you go. Hi, Smith Family Ranch. Yeah, I think that if I lived in an apartment, and like, I was talking to my mom about moving back home, and she said, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So, don't be hasty. I agree with her. I don't want to be hasty, but I also definitely want to keep that in mind, that when my parents need me, I need to be there, because I'm here. I'm close to them physically, as far as, like, where I live. And it's important to me to be there for them as much as possible. So I think what I want to do is I want to find a way to, I guess, maybe close up my house for a few months and just harvest the pigs. The pigs, speaking of piggies, Diva, harvest the pigs and move back to the city for a little bit. Hi, Green Organic Love. How are you? I send you some bacon. Yeah. But that's what I was thinking of doing. So I wanted to tell everybody. So Green Organic Love is in the room, and she is going live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. So if you're on the East Coast, that's 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be there. I don't think I'll be sleepy. I think I got decent sleep last night, and I feel good. Okay, Green Organic Love, you be safe. Be safe driving, because I know when I'm driving, sometimes I put the live stream, just put it on the Bluetooth in my car and just listen in on the car stereo. So I hope that's what you're doing, and I hope you're being safe. And yeah, so that's my second lesson, I guess, is to not bite off more than you can chew, and just to grow slowly. And I think I didn't think that I was growing too fast on the farm, But when unexpected things happen, it just feels like a lot right now. And it really feels like I need to be there for my mom and dad. So I think that might be the best thing. Yes, thank you guys for connecting with each other too, and showing each other some love and making friends. I didn't think I would be all like, I didn't put this out there as a let's grow because I feel like I'm a small channel. And if you guys don't know each other, definitely go get to know each other. Um, I'm a small channel, so I still am hoping people will be willing to get to know me. One of the people who I got to know in a small way, I can't say I know them personally, I don't, but um, Justin and Rebecca Rhodes, and I'm saying their name on my live stream only because my husband and I watched them every night. It was like watching the news. You come home and watch the evening news. I would come home and we would watch Justin Rhodes. Like, I've been watching his channel since he started it. Back before he started it, he was doing videos on Periscope, and he asked us Periscope viewers if, it would be easier if he recorded them and then we could just watch them whenever we wanted, as opposed to having to log into the Periscope when we got the notification. So we were like, yes, let's do it. So, I'm really glad to say I'm one of the people that was there from the start. I don't expect them to be personal friends of mine, but I will say, once they even heard that my husband had passed, they expressed their condolences. They were very sweet about it. And I didn't expect anything from them, but they offered me, like basically their store. And I was like, some items. And I told them my husband and I we had already had permaculture chickens, and we were already watching Joel Salatin, and we were already starting to learn about permaculture. Some of you guys have watched my videos about my pigs and see how I move my pigs on grass. That's something that I learned from watching permaculture, people like Jeff Lawton. And oh, sorry. Please excuse me because I'm a bad YouTuber. As I need to make sure that my laptop doesn't die while I do a live stream, right? Isn't that important? Okay, so I'm just going to plug in really quickly. All right. There. All right. Hi, Freaky Geek. Hi. Yes, I appreciate you guys coming into the room. Thank you so much for getting to know each other too. So, okay, so my first lesson that I learned in 2019 is just love the people. Love your people. Show them you love them. Like, don't wait. Like, what are you waiting for? I said to my mother-in-law, because she said, oh, for Christmas, I'm going to get your oldest daughter, whatever it is, some money. And I said, Mom, don't wait till Christmas. I don't celebrate that holiday, but I let her know that, why wait to show her that love? If you want to give her something, give it to her. Don't wait. There's no reason. There's no reason to wait. That day is just a day. And if you see something that you want to gift someone, go ahead and gift it to them. Like, don't hold back your gifts. Can you imagine if God held back the sunshine because it wasn't our birthday? Like, he doesn't do that. He has good gifts to give. Give them. Okay, that's my first lesson. The second lesson is that don't bite off more than you can chew, and know when to dial it back. And I know I need to dial back my garden, or at least not expand it. Stick to what I have, or maybe even scale it back just a little bit. And for no other reason than I know my family situation. You have to take your situation and really evaluate your situation. Does it make sense for me right now to be running a farm with animals and all of that stuff way out in the country. No, it does not make sense for me personally in my situation to be running a farm. All right. I'm already a teacher. I work full time. So right now to run a farm is like, it's adding to the things I have to take care of. And it's getting overwhelming, to be quite honest. It's getting overwhelming. So that's what I'm dealing with here. I'm trying to look at the chat. Golden One, Texas. Hi, how are you? I don't think I've ever met you. So if I haven't, I am going to try to connect with you at some point, Golden One, Texas, because I don't think I've ever seen your channel. Yeah, you treat every day like it's Christmas. It's like my family, we don't celebrate it, but I know other people's families do. So, but if you have good gifts for people, don't hold out on them. You know, you'll have that gift sitting in your closet. Can you imagine if something were to happen to you and you got that sweater you bought for the person sitting in your closet instead of just giving it to them? I mean, come on now. Hi, Peanuts Peppers. How are you? Hello from South Louisiana. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, if you have a good gift, just go ahead and give it. That's how I feel. And there's no reason to keep your good gifts and wait until some specific day to give them. I don't even wait for birthdays, and just give the person the gift. Show them you love them. Okay. A third thing that I've learned this year. Sorry, I'm bouncing. I'm nervous, I guess. Goodness. Could I have put some more thought into this prior to going live? Probably. But I would say a third thing that I've learned is well, I'm going to go with two things that I've learned. And I guess if I have one more thing I've learned, then I'll come back and do another video about it. Maybe that's what I'll do, the video about it at a later time, because right now I got two. Thanks, Ms. Craft, because teacher doesn't use bulletins. What? Hi, Off-Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. How are you? Hello. Yeah, I haven't, I gotta think on that one, that third one. So far it's two, but that's okay. I think two is good, because I mean, I think those two lessons for me are big ones. They're big lessons. And my life has been going through a lot of things have been happening. If you watch my video, thank you so much, Ms. Full Rollers. I appreciate that. I don't have a production. I'm not a big time YouTuber. I have my Samsung S10. That's it. I have a selfie stick, and I need to go get something to hold it besides a selfie stick. That's all I have. And like, I spent all day in meetings today. And if I am in someone's live, it's, you guys know, if you know me, you know I'm driving. I'm like constantly driving because I live all the way across town. But that's one of the things that I don't have a lot of fancy equipment. Yeah, those are big lessons. Thank you so much, Ms. Craft, because I've had people ask me, like, how do I stay strong? How do I do it? And honestly, I think it's because I stay in prayer, and I recognize that, life is short, and you don't take people for granted because, look where I am. Look, so far this year, this is my third person that I've had in the hospital. Third person. And one of them didn't come home. So it's a lot. And it honestly, it's kind of it's my garden was my therapy. My garden was part of the way I was handling it. So if I do end up moving back closer to home, I will have to continue to garden, because otherwise it's going to be going to the therapist, more co-pays. Yes, I'm sorry you had to learn that lesson hard. Yeah, because there's no reason to hold a gift and wait for a day. Like, I don't have the closet space for that. And even if I do have the closet space for that, that's not what I want it for. Yes, absolutely. I really feel very strongly that you don't hold out good gifts on people. I love what I see up here at the hospital. There's people who are camped out. There was a family they were behind me in this area back here. And they had a big puzzle on the floor, and they got like foil trays with dinners. And you could just tell that whoever it was that they had in the hospital, they were not going to fight this alone. They were not going to fight whatever it was. I say this, whatever health problem, they were not leaving that person here to fight it alone. And that's huge. That's a better gift than waiting till some day in December and giving them a $20 trinket. Like, you took time out of your life to spend the day with me and to be here and support each other when that person is sick, Yeah, patience. Like, that's also a huge, sometimes just to slow down, you have to be patient sometimes. Yeah. I love my therapist. She's awesome. And she's like, call me. You can call me, And I'm like, I know, but I got my garden, so I'm good. But I might have to call her after this because this is a bit much. Yes, absolutely. Listen, I wholeheartedly believe in therapy. Just like if you went to the doctor and they told you needed to go have surgery, you would go, or you get a second opinion, but you'd go. And in the same way, if you feel like there's something going on in your life that you need to talk to somebody about, go talk to somebody. Like, don't withhold medical care from yourself, because that's basically what you're doing by not seeing a therapist or a psychiatrist or not taking your meds that they prescribe. I mean, if you found that gardening replaces the meds, then by all means, wean yourself off of the meds. But if you need your meds, take them. Absolutely have you guys too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because I don't have a whole lot of friends. I don't count a whole lot of people. So having my garden community, I was saying on another live stream, I think it was the Carolina Hillbilly, that having a good community, a loving community, is such an awesome thing. It's so awesome to have people that can sympathize or empathize with what you're going through. And that won't make you feel some kind of way because you said the word therapy in public. Like, oh my goodness, ooh, that's a bad word. It's not a bad word. And if you know your kid's got problems, don't go tell the teacher that, there's nothing wrong. Maybe your kid needs therapy. No, and look, when my husband passed away, you think I didn't take my kids to go get grief counseling? Why? They needed it. I needed it. We have to take care of each other. And that was one of the ways that we took care of each other. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it because I feel like it's one of the things that has been really taboo in our society, amongst African Americans especially. Like it's wrong to seek help, like if your heart is broken. Like you're supposed to go set someone's belongings on fire or throw them in the road or whatever it is. Like go get therapy. It's a more productive way to handle it and keep you out of trouble too. So, yeah. Gardening helps me so much. You know, to me, gardening is about faith. Like you take a little seed, a little tiny seed, and you can grow a huge tree that you'll never even see get to full height. Like your great great grandchildren will see that. But it takes faith to put that little seed in the ground and think something will happen. Like if you plant a seed and it doesn't germinate, what do? You give up and never plant again? No, you plant more. You try again. You go find out what you did wrong. Too much water, not enough, fungus, gnats, whatever it is. You keep trying. You don't give up. So that's one of the things that I've learned, that gardening is a sign of faith, because that little seed holds the DNA for everything that you need to nourish yourself and your family. But you won't get that nourishment unless you have that faith. Put it in the ground, take care of it, and let Jehovah make it grow. That's all. I'm just saying, like, is that my third lesson? No, I don't know. Yes, it keeps you sane. Yes, absolutely. Sometimes just standing under the arbor of my okra, because my Silver Queen okra is like a tree. It's not like an okra plant. Like the red burgundies look like plants. The Silver Queens look like trees. Their trunks are like, this wide. Sorry, my hands look dry. But it takes faith to put the seed in the ground and hope, because my goal is to not spend that money in the grocery store. That's my goal. So when I do go to the grocery store, it's for things that I can't grow or can't make myself. I can't make toilet paper. Well, I guess I could, right? I can't make paper towels. Basic things like I can't make gasoline to run my car. So I need a job that gives me the money so that I can get those things. Don't give up. Absolutely. Have faith. And in a lot of different things, have faith, right, Ms. Craft? Like you have faith that those seeds are going to grow. And I have faith that my efforts are not in vain, that I'm going to be able to put my daughters through school and take care of my parents if they need me. You know what? We really don't know what we're eating at the grocery store. You have no idea how long ago it was picked. Those apples that you're eating could have been picked last year. And there's a way to store apples. If you watch Paul Gauchi's channel, he shows how he stores his apples. And he basically, once he harvests them, he can keep them for months and months and months. So, we take an apple and we take it home, and it's like within a week or two, it's like starting to spoil and feel funny, like mushy. But yeah, there's a way to store apples. So that's one of those things that you got to learn how to provide for yourself. I feel like that was God's plan for us when he put us in the garden. It was to grow food, be fruitful, make families, and grow food, take care of the planet, grow food. And that's important. That's a goal of the planet. Right. Like the food in the grocery store, I mean, it spoils in the grocery store, but then after you get it home, you can't keep it that cold. You ever notice how the grocery store is cold? Right? It's like a walk-in fridge in the grocery store. And then after a hurricane, I'm living in Florida. After a hurricane, the trucks don't get through. The grocery store shelves are empty. No bread. I mean, do you know how to bake bread? That's something else I learned. I learned how to can tomatoes, and that's some of those things are the kind of things that, like, I just learned how to do things so that I could take care of my family myself and not be so reliant on the grocery store. So, Lil Bit, she actually is going to a school, and I haven't been able to get the scholarship yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making my body butter, and I'm going to start making my natural soap. And my body butter and the soap that I make, first of all, it's natural. I don't use any colors. I use essential oils, and the soap that I make is natural. Again, if you're looking for those really cutesy soaps with glitter and all that kind of stuff and colors, I don't use that. I just make hot process soap. Once I cook it and it hardens, it's ready to use within a couple of days. Cold process soap, you usually have to let it sit for a few months or a few weeks before you can use it. But hot process soap you can use within a couple of days once it's hard. So that's something I'm going to do, and to try to see if I can generate some income that helps with Little Bit's tuition. And yeah, you're without power. Yes, you learn how to do things. Like, I remember learning how to cook rice on a barbecue grill. And the thing about it is that when you're without power after a hurricane, you're not off grid. You're in the city, you're in a subdivision sometimes, or in the suburbs. Your house isn't set up for that. So your house isn't set up to have windows that, catch cross breezes. They just built the house based on the plan by somebody made at the builder, whoever designed the subdivision. So it makes you wonder. It's like your toilets are not set up for composting toilets. They're flush toilets. And so those are the kind of things that, you might need to know how to do that. You might have to be willing to do something you're not used to doing. Because if you can't flush your toilet, you're going to have to be, scooping humanure and dumping out humanure. And yes, there's a yuck factor, but you got to do what you have to do if you're in that situation. You can't, bread is my enemy. Yes. Usually when I bake bread, it doesn't last. It lasts a couple of days, and you got to make more. But yes, we actually went and got a generator after one of the hurricanes a couple of years ago. And that was one of the things that, even a generator, you have to go find gasoline for it. So that's really technically not roughing it, because the generator was really meant to run our refrigerator and our freezer so that we wouldn't lose our groceries. But we really needed to can, and that's one of the things I need to do more of. I need to can more, dry more. So one of the videos of Diva Jones 03 that I love is, she reminded me about putting out my herbs, because it's September, almost the end of September. And, my herb garden is still, pumping, but, you might be living in a place where your herbs are not going to last much longer. So before winter kills them, harvest them and tie some of them with a rubber band, hang them up in a dark closet, or not dark closet. I just hang mine in my foyer. It looks pretty, and they're dried within about a week or two. And yeah, I've taken those dried herbs and put them in a jar and with some oxygen absorbers, and I use them to season my food or to have tea. So yes, Eva Jones 03 has a great video on that, so go check her out. Yes, oh my goodness, like one hurricane, I don't know what we were thinking. I guess they told us that the trajectory of the hurricane Nix-Pix was like away from where we were living. That turns out that wasn't the case. We got a direct hit by a hurricane and lost power for a few days. And I think it was almost 2 weeks before we went back to school. There was so much damage, so much flooding. And yeah, like if you don't have a generator, what are you going to do? Like we probably should not have gone to it was a bad time to go to the grocery store. All right, bye, Bear Fruit. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Yes, and like my house now has a lot of windows, but I don't know. I feel like my house is too big. If I had to do it all over again, I'd get a smaller house. Yeah. Hi, Angela. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. I'm here at the hospital visiting my dad. He had a stroke a few days ago, so well, we're just trying to figure out why he had a stroke. Well, we know it was a blood clot, but why is he having blood clots? So, and I love this hospital. They're really getting to the bottom of that. Hi, Louisiana Gardening Guru. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Angela. Yeah. He seems to be getting better fast. So now his brain injury is repairing. You can hear it in his voice every day. He's getting stronger and he's talking more. So now we just have to figure out why his body is throwing off clots. And so usually it's a sign of something, but we're waiting to hear. Thanks, Melanie. I just really appreciate you guys coming to my live stream today. I took a moment from visiting my mom and dad and their friends in his hospital room and came out here. This is the waiting room, the surgery waiting room. And there's a digital board up that shows like how your family member is doing, whether they're still in surgery or they're in recovery. So it's a good place to wait. There's puzzles, there's snacks, comfortable chairs. Like Diva said earlier, it looks like a condo. It's really nice here. Of course, if you have to be here, it's not cool to be here, but at least it's nice here. Yeah. So, yeah, I was just saying about some things that I've learned. And one of the things that I said I learned is that, don't take people for granted and show people love when you have them in your life. Because, life isn't promised. So, yes, thank you so much. He is doing better. He's sitting in the hospital room looking very much like Danny Glover. He's looking very handsome. So you could tell he's doing a lot better. Yeah, I think if I could go back, probably get a smaller house. But that's a part of my lesson number 2 for 2019 is just, try not to bite off more than you can chew. And if you do, know when to dial it back. Because, don't overwhelm yourself. Because I'll be honest, I feel a bit overwhelmed. Yes. I feel like I run my AC constantly. Like, I'm at this time in my life where I get hot all the time. I have a fan blowing on me at night. When I was younger, I would never have had a fan blowing on me all night. And I'm the type I would have needed a nightlight, but I didn't. I needed like multiple blankets, but now I need fans. So yes, it's supposedly going to be a really cool night here in North Florida. So hopefully it's an open window night. I'm not keeping my windows open though, because I live out in the country and I'm just like, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit wary. Um, yeah, I'd say I plan to downsize when I retire. I probably will downsize before I retire. I asked my daughter if she wanted to keep the farm, and she said yes, she wants to keep the farm. So we'll keep it, but probably we'll downsize our living arrangements from day to day. You guys are so nice. Look at that. Like, I'm looking at the likes and I just see I got 21 likes. You guys are so sweet. I mean, I don't even know how they populated Florida before air conditioning. I really don't. Like, I know from Florida history that escaped slaves used to come down here, and, you know, the Native Americans that lived in Florida welcomed them. The Spanish also welcomed them. And when Florida was becoming a state, um, the government said that it would become a slave state. And the option was for the Black Floridians back then, if they stayed, they would become slaves. So they left and went to Cuba. So that's one of the reasons why Cuba has such a large population of Black people. So yeah, I do not know how they live down here. I don't know. I would have been like Harriet Tubman. I would have went the other direction up to Buffalo in Canada. Whew. But I like Florida. I mean, I like tropical food, and I think it's really good to have such a mild winter. The winters here are awesome. Like sweaters and flip-flops still in the winter. So yeah, there's a few days when it's kind of frozen, but hi, Eric. How are you? Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you being here. Um, and I've been talking about the lessons I've learned in 2019. And the heat and humidity, it's a lot here. It's like off-grid desert farming. Paul and Adrienne, I agree. That's one of the things that I find difficult. And I've been thinking about this too. This is something else I was thinking about. I would like to buy a place up north where I could go farm in the summertime. And then, you know, here, Florida, it's way too hot. And then when September, October rolls around, then I'll come back to Florida and I'll do my garden here in Florida through the Florida winter, which is a great place to garden. So that's something I've been thinking about. I haven't started looking. Sorry, is this thing falling off me? I haven't started looking, but that's one of the things that I'm considering. And if you're wondering why I have this weird napkin on me, it's because I left straight from work to come visit my dad at the hospital. And our school requires teachers to wear a logo shirt. So I'm just covering up our school logo so that I can keep my school's name private. But yeah, the heat and humidity here it runs a lot of people off. And I really admire people that are able to move with the weather. That's a goal. So I guess you have to you're right, Miss Full Roller. You have to train yourself to not use air conditioning. But I know that for me, I have high blood pressure. And I know I'm admitting my health problem. What? High blood pressure. And being out in the heat is really not good. So even on my medication, I have it under control. I have to build up my endurance to stay out in the heat, and I have to take frequent breaks and cold water. My children know when mommy's in the garden, put a chair by the front door and a bottle of cold water. And when mommy comes in, be prepared to help her take off her boots. And then once I cool down and once I get myself together, I can go back out there and just, you know, keep going like that all day. But I can't just stay out there. No, you just can't. And the thing is just not all year. it's just the summer months, like from the end of June, July, August, and the beginning of September. The rest of the year, it's awesome. It's awesome. Those hot months. I'd be up there, up north Michigan. I'm looking in places like upstate New York, the I-75 corridor, and also Michigan, because I have family in Canada. So it would be a really good place to be in a city in Michigan where I could just cross the border and go see my family in Canada. So yeah, that was Jim Kovaleski. Yes, yes. And do you know who he met Justin Rhodes through? He met Justin Rhodes through Pete Canaris. So when you guys hear me talk about Pete Canaris, that's why, right? Because before Pete got to know Justin Rhodes, he had this Instagram. Oh my goodness. He was doing permaculture garden. Like, he would install it. It was awesome. Beautiful work. And he didn't make a whole lot of videos. Then Justin Rhodes went to see him, and please excuse me, my throat is dry. Encouraged him to make videos and not worry about whether or not they were perfect. So that's how that started. All right, friends. Excuse me. I'm going to end my live stream because I'm almost 57 minutes in and my throat is getting dry and I want to cough and I want to sneeze. And I appreciate all of you being here so much. So you guys have a good evening, and make sure you come back. Come and find Green Organic Love at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much. I really do pray that my dad gets well soon too, and that he's in rehab or at home. All right, my mom's calling, so I definitely gotta go. I'll talk to you guys. Have a good night. Hey, Mom.